Hello, my name is Les, and I'm the Monster Painter, and today I'm going over to my buddy Doug's, and we're going to play Through the Ages, a new story of civilization, and give it a short, sweet review, and I better get my button gear because I'm late. All right, we're here at Doug's lovely game den, and he's got the whole thing laid out ahead of time. And it's a big, scary looking board. Nice art, beautiful looking components. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a challenge to learn. All right, here's Doug from Board Game Nation, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the game. So this is what is it called again?
Through the Ages, a new story of civilization.
And who made it?
So this is Vlada Chvátil, which is, he's, pretty famous. Everybody knows him. He did Dungeon Pets and the other one before Dungeon Pets. I forget what it's called. And he did Codenames?
Codenames?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun one.
That's pretty popular. And he did a whole bunch of other ones. Mage Knights.
Knights.
Well, it was another big one that he's into.
Very big.
And he kind of works now with what is it? CGE.
Right.
So
and that's the producer of this game.
Yeah, and they kind of do this kind of stuff. So this is the newer version of it, and I'm thinking it will probably take quite some time.
It's going to be a long game.
It's a long game. But one of my all-time favorite games is Nations, which is a kind of, if you like this kind of style of game, that's the more Euro version of this game.
Right, so this isn't a real Euro-y version of a civilization game?
I was, like we were talking before, and I was saying it's more, like, your civilized building, you're building that engine, you're building the resources, and then there's a switch to either, blast through and destroy the other person, or blast through and get your, the victory points. So it has a kind of almost a chess element to it. You're kind of looking around and, or more like a war game element, right?
So it's a bit more tactical.
It's a bit more tactical, right?
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a big slog.
How heavy do you say this is?
This is pretty darn heavy. This is probably one of the heavier...
Super heavy plutonium weight?
Yeah, but not 18xx heavy, right? Like
so uranium heavy.
Yeah. And there's a lot of rules, but it is a very simple... Once you get it, the mechanics are simple, but there's a little bit, little rule here and a little rule here that could completely dramatically change how you're playing the game. And so that's some of the things that we have to worry about.
And how thick would you say this thing is? How hard to learn?
It's going to be, I think you're never, we will never play the game with getting all the rules right. Right? Like, I think that will be, because we play too many games.
Right.
We play too many. So that's the level, right?
5 or 6 plays before you're actually playing it the way it's supposed to be?
Probably. And fairly, one after the other kind of thing.
Right.
Like, we can't play and then a year later play another one, and a year or 2 years later. You're going to have to keep this out. And then you'll be fine.
Are we still going to have fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
We always have fun.
Well, let's get at it then. Here we are at the end of this glorious mess. The game is all done. Doug won handily, but we got right to the very end, finishing the third age, which is nothing to sneeze at.
This is final thoughts on our game. It's taken us, we started at 11, and it's now 6:30 in the evening.
It was a fast game.
It was a super fast game, absolutely. But we got right down to the end of age 3, which means that we finished the whole game. Now, I thought I was going to handily beat Les several times, but it turned out he switched it around and put me on the run. Now, I did win in the end.
Yeah. So we spent 7 hours playing the game. Was it fun, Doug?
Oh, it was. I had a great time.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of tension.
It was tense. It was exciting.
Yeah, and there was a lot of Euro in it.
Yep.
Right, which is
It was a very Euro-y.
It's a Euro game.
A Euro game with a lot of war
Tactics.
game flavor.
Yeah, it's a war game. That's what I think. It's pretty much a war / game, but it's I'm a Euro gamer and I prefer this. I don't like getting battered.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was building up my empire, and then I had to go on the defensive and then start building again, and it was very interesting. Anyways, let's stop for a second, because before we start, we have a decision to make. We've got 2 Canadian beers.
I want the juicy ass.
You want the juicy ass?
Yeah. My coworker's been talking about juicy ass.
So this is Juicy Ass, which is made by Flying Monkey.
Flying Monkey,
And then I'm going to have
sponsor of a good time.
The Space Invaders, which is also one of my favorites. Space Invaders, but Juicy Ass is by far my favorite. Okay, so let's continue.
We had a good time.
We had a good time. There is a learning curve. I watched maybe 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 hours of video to learn this game.
On this game, I watched 45 minutes and felt,
I did not read.
You didn't read the instructions. I watched 45 minutes of instructions and I felt kind of lost. It's complex.
Yes.
It's a challenge to learn.
Oh yeah.
Did you feel it was rewarding?
Oh, it's a rewarding. And there is some challenges to learn, but I think once whatever your method of learning the game is, reading the book or watching a couple of how to play videos, which there's a couple of really good ones.
Yeah. The links will be in the comment or down below.
Yeah, it does. It has tons of replayability, but it's not as difficult as people would say it is. A lot of it is flowing.
This is from a hardcore Euro game.
Yes, that's true. So, but there are some rules that you have to catch. But the flow of the game, right? The concept of moving your it makes sense. There's a lot of Euro games that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? And they're very simple Euro games.
We didn't look at the rule book very often, but we played the game.
That's right. That's right.
That speaks to me to a certain level of elegance.
Yeah. It's intuitive. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say that that's insane for this kind of game, but for the breadth and the complexity of this game, it's amazing how intuitive it is.
Yeah.
Right?
How long did we spend playing it?
6.5 hours? Is it?
6.5?
No,
7.
7.5.
7 hour game.
Yes, 7 hours.
First game.
Yeah.
You think we get it down to 5 the next time we play?
Yeah. And we know some people that will like this game and play it a lot. We also know some people that will hate it.
Yes, this is not for everyone, is it?
No. It's more of a Euro game than a war game.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid. In closing, there's a lot to digest here. There's a lot to come back to.
It's a meaty, delicious, uranium-heavy Euro game.
Yeah, and it's rewarding, and there's many different strategies that are all fruitful.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of game that if you buy one super, super heavy game, this is the one to do, because you need to continuously play this over and over again. This game is good value.
Right. So you heard what Doug had to say about the game, and in my opinion, it was a tough, complex strategy game with tons of meat, plenty of replayability, a learning curve as steep as Mount Robson. And if you're prepared to climb up that learning curve, it is going to reward you with hours of game time, hours of fun. And, well, I had a great time. But I gotta say, Canada is unleashing its full Canada on us right now, on me right now. And I'm going to crawl into bed and think of complex strategies. And I'll see you next time on The Monster Painter.